my share. And I'm going to give a little bit. Zach Zitney, he also has a twin brother, Max. I met those two gentlemen and when I was a director in Perry schools, and was impressed with their story of how they started and where they are now. And so I've invited them today to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship and how that has worked in their life and the journey that they've taken. So Zach, is Max not here today, or I don't want to.
Max unfortunately won't be able to make it.
Okay.
We're moving into a new space, so it's we're in a time crunch right now. So.
All right. I appreciate you being here. I just didn't want to, if I was missing him, I didn't want to be hanging out somewhere and not moving him forward. Thank you again for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to you. And we welcome you with your story.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation or anything, so I'm just gonna go off the cuff. It's something I've done many times over. But yeah, I'm Zach Zitney. My brother is Max Zitney. We went to Perry High School, and our entrepreneurship journey really just started when we were in like 8th grade. We started mowing lawns before we could drive a car. Our mom would work night shift and then let us drive the truck around before we had our license and start mowing people's yards. So my brother and I really have never worked for anyone else in my life. Entrepreneurship has really been in our blood forever, and we have really gone from one thing to the next thing, and we're more opportunists when it comes to entrepreneurship. The passion is just being able to create and do, and go from there. So it started with mowing lawns before we could drive, and we did that for 10 years before we went to college at Ohio State. And that was really the stepping stone into entrepreneurship. We really were passionate about anything we were doing. So when we mowed yards, we striped the yards and made them look like baseball diamonds, and everyone loved it. And it was something that we were really passionate about, and people really appreciate that in anything that you do. It doesn't matter if you're mowing yards or painting walls, or everyone has all these really sophisticated jobs. But even if you're doing something simple, if you do it to the best of your ability and overachieve at it, people notice it, and it doesn't go, it goes really far. And that's just something that has really been the catalyst of all of our business endeavors and where we've gotten to today. Excuse me. We went to Ohio State, and we really didn't know what we were going to do as a degree or pretty much anything. We just knew we loved business, so we took a bunch of business classes and stuff. Unfortunately, they didn't add up to be anything that was a degree. We were really involved in business clubs, in the business club at Ohio State. And that was like the very stepping stone into actually being, entrepreneurship after growing or after mowing yards. So while we were in that business club, we bought a beef jerky company for sorry, one second. I'm in the middle of something. Sorry. So we bought a beef jerky company for like $500 from our friend. It was a white label out of let me see, like west of Cleveland, and we basically had pallets of beef jerky dropped off at our apartment at Ohio State, and we didn't know what we were going to do with it. So we lived on beef jerky for like 6 months. Literally ate beef jerky more than probably have ate more beef jerky than anyone I've ever met. And we decided we had to probably sell most of it or sell it somehow. And we came up with a business called Jerky XP, where we would sell beef jerky to people who play video games. And this was before influencers and stuff started charging wads of cash to, promote their brand. We really just sent out beef jerky to a bunch of gamers, Twitch people, YouTubers and whatnot. And we knew the beef jerky was awesome, and they loved it, and they talked about it. And it kind of was just self-promoting of itself. These days you can't really do that. People want paid for it, but this was before that time, and it kind of took off. We grew that business. There's not a lot of margin in beef jerky unless you're Jack Link's, so you're not going to make a lot of money. But we were young and naive, and we just thought we had a good business going. One of the downsides was we really didn't know the finances. We didn't know how, what the profitability of it was or anything. We were just moving beef jerky. It didn't matter if we were making money or not. We thought we thought we were winning by selling beef jerky almost at a loss. And we, in our senior year at Ohio State, we applied for a Chase Bank business grant, Main Street. It's actually on the wall over there. Mission Main Street grants from Chase Bank. I don't think they do it anymore, but it was I think 20 people were awarded $100,000 for coming up with a business proposal that helped the community basically. And our proposal was to help people who were addicted to drugs and alcohol by giving them second chance employment where they otherwise would not be able to. So we were one of the finalists in that, and we were awarded the $100,000 when we were at Ohio State. We were 20, like not early 20s, like 21, 22 or something. Everyone else who won was like 65 plus. There's a reason for that, because Max and I did not know what to do with the money, and we bought a building in Warren, Ohio. And we left school and moved the business to Warren, Ohio, and started selling the beef jerky out of there. So from there, we were just trying to grow the business and make money, and it was really tough. So at the time, we were like losing money and we were in debt and we didn't know what to do. So we came up with a new business idea where since we were fulfilling orders for our own company so well, we came up with the idea to fulfill orders for other people's companies. This is where the opportunity, where we needed our backs against the wall and we needed money to survive. So we came up with Ship's Lot, and we had a couple of friends who were selling stuff online. So we decided to see if they needed order fulfillment, and they did. And it kind of snowballed from there. So Max, I, and another partner came up with the Ship's Lot company at the time while we were running Jerky XP kind of to survive. And the Ship's Lot business took off very fast, and it started to snowball. We had more clients. We got some larger clients, and we were still fulfilling orders out of Warren, Ohio, but we were outgrowing it. And the jerky business was not doing well. So we sold the jerky business for nothing so we could get out from under the debt. And then we were running the Ship's Lot business full time. And we then moved to Memphis, Tennessee, because we wanted to be centralized in the United States. And we decided FedEx is probably a great, was a great location to be next to FedEx. So we did that about 4.5 years ago. And since then, we have been pedal to the metal on growing the business, but also our clients have been growing, especially with the pandemic. Everyone's buying stuff online. The reason Max isn't here right now is because he's in another space across the street that's like a 160,000 square foot warehouse, and we have a couple of other spaces that we're consolidating right now. And we have it's been very, very hectic and pretty crazy throughout the pandemic. There has been not really any downtime, especially for e-commerce fulfillment. Everyone's ordering stuff online. But throughout the process, the biggest thing that has just kept us alive is persistence, because every day, things are not perfect. And even to today, there's just things that come up that you have to do, especially in the e-commerce fulfillment side of things. And I think that's just the entrepreneurship in a nutshell, is that you just have to be persistent. Not everything is going to go your way. Definitely not going to go your way. And you just have to come up with solutions to problems that arise. I did not know anything about order fulfillment 5 years ago. Now I'm pretty much well versed in pretty much everything, every side of it. But that only was because we had to do it, and then it just became me. When you're passionate about things, you can be passionate about anything. So if you're doing something, it doesn't really matter what it is. If you would have asked me as a sophomore in college, if I was going to be fulfilling orders for other companies, I would have told you, no, I don't know why I would do that. But that's just not how it works when you're an entrepreneur. There's things that come up and you figure out solutions and you get passionate about it. So without that, you just won't survive if you don't have that drive, regardless of what it is. you have to have the determination to really survive in the entrepreneurship world. And really going back to kind of what Ken said, just about people really have not wondered anything outside of what we do for our business, and I've never really had any background information required from others in regards to how we got here. They just want to know that we can fulfill their orders as fast as possible and accurately, and that's really all that matters. So when you're good at something, you can it doesn't really matter where you came from or what you did or however you got there. It matters what you can do on a daily basis to help your client and help people perform in their business, since we're a service to other people's business. And it's really just been a journey that has been taking a lot of turns throughout the years, but I have to only go back to being persistent. There's many times, especially when moving warehouses, there's no downtime in between people ordering stuff online and you running your business. So when things have to be changed like this warehouse move, we have to still fulfill orders. I mean, that's in and of itself a huge feat. We've done it a couple of times now. It's only because you can only grow so fast with what you have. And we have, myself and the other owner have, we put everything into it, and there's no outside big venture capital group or anyone involved in that side of things. We are really doing this out of the business's earnings and profits, and growing the business in that way. So it's been quite the journey, but it's been one that's really worth it. And I'm passionate about it. My brother's passionate about it. We don't wake up every day not to make things successful in this way. So that's just where we're at. And I don't know if there's any questions, or if I went on a tangent, or if I answered anything that Amy wanted, but I'm just, I have given the story a couple of times, and I do like talking about it. So if there's something I missed, or if I'm not hitting a point, please let me know.
Well, Zach, you've always been inspirational to me as far as the stick-to-itiveness that you have. And we did have a question, and I think Ken also typed an answer to it, but we'll have it taken from your point of view too. What's the biggest risk in running your own business?
Yeah, biggest risk. It's all on you. You don't get to just say I quit and go get another job tomorrow. You are the company at this point. And that's something you have to really understand, is that you really have to be problem solving. And if you don't have that in you, then it's not gonna be worth it. The risk is obviously that everything can come towering down on you, and you're the person that they look to as the fallback person and everything. It's not like you're at a 9 to 5 where you just go get another job because you messed up one thing. You really are putting your livelihood on the line, but that's why you put processes in place and you put people in the right place to make things work. But still, the risk is, it's obviously super risky. It could be in any business. The risks are there, and you own the whole thing and you run it. So it's not something for the faint of heart. You really have to be all in on it and understand that it's it's not guaranteed. And clients could leave, things could change, pricing could change, the market can change. You succumb to the tons of different things obviously within the economy. So it's risky all around, but it's worth it if you're passionate about it. The risk is totally worth it. And if you're not, then you won't go too far. But if you are, then you mitigate those risks. Tons of things have changed over time. And
so Zach, I had heard you say that you in your senior year you stopped college and you started the Jerky X. Did you ever go back and finish your degree, or did you find that what you did up to the point in college, did it help you in what you were doing, or what were you majoring in, I guess, at the time? And
college is probably great for 99% of the population. I'm not, my brother and I, we are not good classroom learners in a sense to sit there and watch someone teach you how to do something. I am a hands-on type of person, and it was really tough to concentrate even in college. It still was presentations and slides and stuff. To be, honest, we did not even have a track of what degree there was. We just went to classes that we thought would help us in business. At the end of the day, that didn't end up to be anything. And Ohio State did not want that as a graduating criteria. So in our senior year, there were options of continue the jerky business or continue college. And we were very passionate about the jerky business. So we had not finished that, had not finished school, and we have not been back. I can't say it, everyone's like, oh, well, so-and-so didn't go to college. Well, it'd be a little different if we just left school and we're sitting on the side of the street doing nothing.
Right.
That's a different story. That's not what anyone's trying to say. And Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all these people weren't just playing tiddlywinks. They were actually building things, and they were actually being, they were going after something. So the whole, you don't have to go to college. Well, you better have something else you're doing. That's equivalent of it. You're learning. I'm learning every day.
Right.
College isn't the only route, but really there's a lot of different aspects of how people learn. And sometimes school and college throw everyone into that one group, and it's just tough sometimes. I will say Max and I have just not been great classroom learners, but we have been great real world learners, and that's just how it is.
And I love that. I've been a teacher for, this is my 36th year in education, and there's people that are able to learn in different ways. And I think Ohio is finally seeing that real world learning is valuable, and that they're giving them a lot of different venues and students venues to get to their goals instead of, and I think, and I like you, I think colleges and education and training, and I don't think it's necessarily college, but some post-secondary learning in some way, because you've certainly had mentors in your life that help direct you and give you advice. And those are the kinds of learnings that I think are really important. I think that, we have to all pick what works for us. And, but I think having a plan in place, whether it's owning your own business, getting employed and getting the training like Ken had mentioned, where you enter the business or the employee world right away and get that training along the way. And then some of our students online will go to college and they'll get their 4-year degree and, even persist on to get their master's and doctorate. And that's what works for them. But there's nothing that says that to be successful, you have to go to college. And I think that we all think, that there's a mindset that you to make money, you have to go to college. But I think that we can all look back and see people like yourselves and the people that are all online today and see how success can come in different ways. So I appreciate you as always. And I love the story that you and Max have of working your way through, and the amount of persistence that you have and creativity. And when we're, I feel like when we are talking to students, instead of saying, what do you want to be? Should we be asking them instead, what problem do you want to solve? And that will get you into the area that is your most interest and your most passion, because being something is different from doing something. And I think it's important that our audience today keep that in mind as we go forward. Are there any questions for Zach? And if there is, you can enter them in the chat, or you can enter them through the question and answer piece. And I just want to say thank you. And again, Zach, if anybody asks a question later, if you wouldn't mind that I email that to you, and we'll get the answers out to everybody.